So if you want to watch more games, then support RRQ.
Yes, support RRQ. But if you support Cakekalok, that is totally fine too, because this team, they, again, for me, came out of nowhere, and I am so impressed.
It's the same as, well, it's the same bands to start it off, and Cakekalok, well, in the Slash Lapras, right?
I love this Deny pick.
They did it in game 1 also, right? Lapras first pick.
Yes, but I think that was also a Deny pick. But then again, Mark God also plays the Lapras.
Yeah.
But Necro, this guy's too good with Lapras. It just makes sense that you got to get rid of it. But in the process, you've given Eeyore his Urshifu. So what's the answer here for Cakekalok? Because they struggled to deal with this Urshifu last game.
And for both games, we saw Urshifu into Dojo, and the three-headed bird had no chance.
Yes, no chance at all. He was just getting absolutely shredded. And it looks like we might be seeing the Glaceon card come out. Delphox instead. Interesting. Yeah. Back of my damn kidding. But for reals though, Glaceon and Delphox, for anyone that isn't too familiar with the APAC-WEST scene, these are two Pokemon that RRQ are very familiar with. They used to play this duo a lot back in the Pokemon Unite Asia Champions League, so they are well aware of what this lineup is capable of doing. Okay.
Hey, wait,
stop.
Wait.
If it's mine, that's fine. But the fact that they're flashing Gengar, that's not nice.
It's 100% of mine. But,
no, look at this. PSL.
So it's a Snorlax.
Sure. Snorlax, okay. You know what? I'm totally fine with this because he is probably going to have to be the first line of defense against the Urshifu. But, here's the but. If this is Rapid Spin, Blastoise, which it normally is, he doesn't care about block. Yes, he does not care about block.
Can you block the Urshifu while the Urshifu was trying to use Surging Strike? Can you block his dashes?
Is he unstoppable? That's the question for you.
I don't think so.
So then you should still be
I
pushed.
don't think he is. Not that I remember. I've never encountered Snorlax.
Because no one plays Snorlax.
Not many play Snorlax. We saw Snorlax like last month. I believe it was by Team MYS. Is it Reebok Snorlax?
I think, yeah, 1 or 2 Snorlaxes. But it's surprising to see this Pokemon's fall from grace because a lot of other defenders just risen in popularity.
Yeah, we've seen more in East Asia, I believe. I think like Orangutan, or formerly known as High Five, they do play the fair share of Snorlax. Good news for APAC-WEST is the fact that each month we have teams that we are familiar with reaching the end of the tournament, and we have teams that just come out of nowhere and doing the same. We have been impressed by teams like Xerific Gaming last month, who finished 2nd, brought us to a full grand finals against Team MYS, and right now with Cakekalok bringing it, doing it the same to RRQ.
And it's not just APAC-WEST, I mean in APAC-East, we saw a team come out of nowhere, right, as old guys.
And they beat Orangutan.
Yeah, they beat Orangutan, which I think arguably are probably the best team in East and West Asia right now.
Yes.
So that was a really big surprise. But again, we're not going to see those guys until next month during the regional finals. We're not going to talk about them. We're going to focus on this game here between Cakekalok and RRQ. It is game number 3 in this best of 3 grand final. If RRQ take this game, we're going for a grand final reset. But if Cakekalok win this game, then that's it. They will take the crown and be the champions for May.
And the only difference is that these two teams will win various amounts of prize pool. That's pretty much it. They both qualify for
almost double the prize pool.
That is true, almost double. So they're fighting for more than 3,000 extra US dollars.
Pretty much $3,500 US dollars.
It's been a long time since we saw double attackers, right?
Yes.
I think today it has just been single attackers. You have speedsters in the central area.
You know what we're not really seeing nowadays? All-rounders seem to be a very forgotten role, right?
Most of them, right?
Yeah, most all-rounders have really fallen out of favor. You're only really seeing Urshifu as the lone standing all-rounder that teams are still potentially picking. And I think it's a really interesting pivot, I suppose. And I wonder if it's because of all the new additions of defenders and also the buffs that some of the defenders have gotten, and also support buffs, sort of leading towards this shift in meta towards self-sustained, self-healing.
It could also be a lot of these all-rounders have very specific conditions that if not fulfilled, they just lose the effectiveness, right? Lucario has to snowball. Tyranitar has to wait until level 13, 14
to really hit his power.
Charizard, you know, all these Pokemon just have so many conditions. AG Slash even.
Yeah, it's like the early game for them is too weak to justify the picks, right?
Unless you want to sack them, right? But we've seen teams try to do that. You sack that all-rounder lane,
mid lane.
Your game just collapses. Eeyore once more.
Eeyore body blocks for the team. They're going to try and keep him alive here, Husky, but it looks like Eeyore's going to be fine. Do you think they're going to turn around?
Oh, and they right, the Snorlax is in. Well, they do take out the water though. Eeyore was able to still make it out with decent amount of HP, but the fact that Cakekalok didn't lose anyone, that is impressive.
I think it was also to the fact that Levi, this Glaceon pick is paying off in dividends because he did so much damage to Eeyore that he just couldn't turn around.
I'm surprised that not more teams are playing the Glaceon today. I was expecting just Glaceon every single game.
Yeah,
I think the numbers they check out when you look at the stats, but I guess teams are just more comfortable with what they practice.
Yeah, the sustain meta has been around for such a long time, and that's the most practiced meta. But I'm surprised teams are also not even considering the old Icy Wind build for Glaceon, right? Because we didn't see any adjustments for that at all. Still does a pretty good amount of damage as well. Gives you that little bit of a dash mechanic as well. But we are going to talk about that later on because RRQ are camping it out in that bottom lane. And wow, Unite being used there by Levi. But look at this, the rapid spin coming in from the Wartortle, but he just gets annihilated by the Icicle Shots. And oh my gosh, Delphox goes down, but it looks like APAC-WEST still securing the Regirock for the team. And now Cakekalok, they are reeling back to their goal zone.
That Glaceon damage, they just lost the Regi, but they still ended up trading even in terms of KOs with RRQ. And I believe Glaceon is the only Pokemon right in this state of the game that got a buff, but the pick rate went down because we saw this infinite amount of Glaceons for the past 2 months.
Last month, yeah, we saw a lot of Glaceons.
Even ACL, right? Glaceon was either picked or banned.
Yes, it was 100% pick ban rate.
It was.
But it was usually picked because for some reason teams decided to ban Delphox instead.
And also because you have the ban station, right? So you are... Yeah.
And Blastoise. I think some teams are banning Blastoise.
Watch out
we are
for
still seeing these ice shards. Look at this, like actually deletes the Glaceon. He's like, I'm the superior ice type. Get on out of here. Mark got on the other hand. He's going to want to get out of this, but it looks like Eeyore, he's going to get his revenge. He'll bop him back to base. Goodbye, Mark. God. Now RRQ, they get their revenge in that bottom lane, but that fight only really worked out because they had to blow some big unites to actually get rid of the key players.
And the eject button from APAC-WEST. So for the next minute or so, he will not have any defensive mechanism.
Yeah, it just goes to show the investment required to get rid of that Glaceon. It's a pretty hefty price to pay.
RRQ working on the Regieleki, and Cakekalok will arrive there in time. Eeyore was looking for a flag, and now the Lapras Express. They actually found Levi in the back line. Actually does end up going down. Hydro Typhoon used by Necro as well. Double KO for this Lapras. Margot is ascending to Divinity at this point. They do lose the Glaceon though, thanks to Eeyore coming in from the flank. And Eeyore, he's going to cap a big juicy 40 in that first goal zone. And at the end of that, RRQ still comes out with the win.
And the Regieleki doesn't even get taken out in that top lane. It's still around. Eeyore though, using his full heal, actually wanting to get out of there. And yes, with the Blissey, the helping hand, the safeguard, there's just no way Cakekalok can lock him down. And while this is all happening, the diversion was perfect. RRQ are going to get the bottom Regi. That's going to be the buff. That's going to be experience. Interesting choice for Cakekalok.
It was so unfortunate because Levi was on top of the Lapras. They run in, and at the exact same time that Levi dismounted, Eeyore was right in front of him. So Eeyore just used Flowing Fizz and ran this Glaceon down. He could not join the fight at all. And even without him, Margot still got 2 KOs, right? So imagine if the Glaceon was actually actively participating in these team fights.
Or at least in a better position to be protected just in case Eeyore comes in. So yes, we see the firepower from this Glaceon, but the weakness is there. It's not a completely unstoppable Pokemon, but so far we're going to be seeing the Snow Glade being popped. Even a big power nap coming in from the Snorlax, but doesn't really matter though. Eeyore just going ham in the backlines, trying to go for the Glaceon, cuts him down again, throws him on the ground, breaks that ice. And RRQ, they're going to continue. They've got, look at this. Oh, Margot coming in with the Lapras Express. Big Wave didn't connect onto too much. Still going to continue to chase that Blastoise, and they want Eeyore, but they just can't get this Urshifu. It's too elusive.
without any assistance from the team, Eeyore still got 2 KOs. Had to use a Unite move, but I think it's probably halfway charged at this point. He was doing so much work.
It's so much work, but it has to happen, right? Because we are seeing in these fights, if the Glaceon is out of the picture, Cakekalok really don't have that much left in the tank in these battles. Like, yes, they've got a lot of CC, they have some sustain, but Delphox is running Fire Spin. That is not the premier build you want to be running if you're trying to run that really strong nuking power Delphox. It's mostly there for crowd control. So now there's going to have to be some more emphasis put towards Levi's preserve. Like, you have to preserve this Glaceon, because again, if he goes down, I think the fight's just going to go into RRQ's favor again. And the fact that Eeyore is confident enough to just poke into Cakekalok like that, he is just so confident.
No one can stop him, right? He is going to hit 15 by the time Rayquaza spawns again, just like last game.
The safeguard is just so good for Eeyore, like they can't lock him down.
They're going to try with the Bubble Beam. Eeyore stopped just for a while. The Fire Spin will expire. Now Eeyore has a clear way in.
They're
looking for the opportunity. Steals it away! XQ on this Alolan Ninetale does it big time. So all the Reggies went to RRQ this game. And Rayquaza has just spawned.
Rayquaza spawned. There's no buffs on the side of Cakekalok as well. That was supposed to be the buff going into Cakekalok. But look at this, though. We've got the Rapid Spin going in from the Blastoise. So much damage. Naughty's already cut down to half health on that Snorlax. And look at them. They're backing up. They are so scared to fight into RRQ. Levi, terrified of having Eeyore coming in from the back lines. The rest of the team, really scared of Necro's Hydro Typhoon. They're not happy to jump onto Axe-Q because he just pops the Snow Globe and does so much damage. But there we go, Necro being jumped on. The block is there. He will go for the Rapid Spin. Naughty's down to half. Rapid, Hydro Typhoon connecting onto multiple Pokemon. And it looks like this might just be it, Husky. They are slowly shredding into Cakekalok. Eeyore just doing God's work on this Glaceon. Levi cannot move.
What was that from Eeyore? He did not lose a single drop of HP. He ran this Glaceon from the Ray Pit to the second Go Zone. We still have a minute left. Rayquaza still on the field, but Axe-Q, big avalanche, and actually was able to get the KO on the Delphox of all Pokemon. Levi will be back, but Cakekalok have nothing to contest Rayquaza. No Unite moves.
They do still have Levi. Levi's coming into the picture, but look at this up top. Eeyore gonna go for a 80-point dunk. And can RRQ actually just stall? Because they don't need Rayquaza. They just have to stall it. Make sure Cakekalok don't get the buffs. And Naughty's out. He's got no support.
They're working with the Rayquaza.
He's not gonna be able to get any healing. The Snorlax is out of the picture. I think this is a big mistake. I really need to make sure they have it. They will get the Rayquaza. Margot is there, but can they even score?
20 seconds. This is not going to be easy. They have the first Go Zone. Levi, he wants to get in, but this is so much hindrance from RRQ. They even got Zoe to score another extra 40. 100 points on the top side. They need to break this first Go Zone. They might be a chance for Cakekalok. They've broken both of it. 186. Can Sunjin get the last one in? Does this count?
It doesn't count.
It doesn't count. Is it enough from Cakekalok?
Oh my god, Husky, I think we might be in a situation where it might not even be that next game.
10 points!
RRQ!
Half a second made all the difference. And Zoe 100% saved that game with that back cap. That extra, 40 points got them just the most minuscule lead that they need. And that means we are going for bracket reset.
Oh my gosh. I can imagine in my brain, RRQ, their heart pounding.
Because they were
moment.
in this situation, right? ACL, bronze placement match against T2, same thing. Iluna was half a second away from winning a game that was decided by a 4-point difference.
Yep. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this game was so